I will share with you a story of a shadow. That's all it is. Something tall, out of place, lingering at the edge of a child's mind, a detail overlooked, a fear unspoken. But once the idea takes hold, it spreads quickly and quietly until it demands to be real, no matter what the cost.
And I will share a story with you about a photograph, a simple one. A little girl sitting in a field on a quiet Sunday afternoon. Her father lifts his camera, frames the shot, and clicks the shutter. Nothing unusual, nothing out of place. At least, not that anyone could see until the photo was developed.
This is Killer Hangover Podcast. Pour yourself something strong and settle in because you've just stumbled onto Killer Hangover, Season 2, Episode 9, the podcast where the crimes are chilling, the ghosts are questionable, and the cocktails are non-negotiable.
Hello, I am Beth, your amateur sleuth, professional rabbit hole diver, and the daughter who still texts her mom conspiracy theories at 2 a.m.
And I'm Bettina, the voice of reason, whether you ask for it or not, designated skeptic, reluctant believer, and the mom who replies, "Go to bed," and then stays up after said 2 a.m. text looking into those conspiracy theories.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, how are you, sweetheart?
I am good. I'm good. I'm tired,
Well,
but I'm good.
You're so darn busy.
I have been looking forward to this all day. So,
Have you?
yes. Yes, I have. Just, yeah, lots of things with all the kids, lots of this and that and driving here and there and making this for this. And you got to, yeah, you get it. You get the gist.
I get it.
And I was just all day thinking about this moment right here. And I don't know if it's because the kids are all sleeping. I don't know if it's because I have a cocktail. I don't know if it's because I get to just kind of zone in on this. Uh, all three good things.
I have nothing to do with it.
I don't know if it's because I get to spend the next hour with my mother. All good things.
Actually, this is a highlight of my day too. So,
oh, and I'm hoping Killer Hangover is a highlight of your week, listeners.
there you go. Hey, you were talking about a cocktail. What did you make?
I have a fun cocktail. And as I was making it, it sounded really similar to one of the last cocktails we just made. So I hope it's not a replica.
Oh, well, we have two cocktails. So,
but I'm really liking this blue curacao because apparently that's all I'm drinking nowadays is blue cocktails. Let me pull up this recipe here. I am drinking the Spaceman. See how it's kind of glittery in there?
It's glittery. Love it.
Ah, don't look too close at the manicure. But yes, the cocktail is gorgeous. It is 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Shake it in a shaker with ice. Pour it into whatever glass you'd like. I really wanted it in a martini glass. It just sounded pretty. I don't know. I don't know why, but it did. Then you add 1/2 ounce of the blue curacao. Stir it up. That adds the color and the faint citrus taste. Then a tiny pinch of edible dust. Edible dust. Glitter dust. Forgot the word. Club soda or tonic. splash of that on top if you'd like. I really didn't. I liked the whole just alcohol idea. And it is actually very good. It's very strong, but it's very good.
Nice. Hey, anytime elderberry, whatever that's called, liqueur. Oh my gosh.
Elderflower.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it.
No, it adds just I don't know. The flavor is that. Ugh, so good.
Ugh, so good.
So good.
Well, I went to the other end of the spectrum, I think. My drink is called Faceless, and that goes along with my what I'm covering, of course. But let me tell you, I have tasted it, and after this, or yeah, maybe after this,
I'm gonna be faceless
I'll
to
be
you.
clueless, and everybody will be faceless. This is straight up alcohol, and I put it in a nifty little glass. I don't know what you would call this glass.
I know. I went for the martini glass. You went to a what is that glass? It looks
I
like
don't
a
know, but it looks
barrel with
like
a
a
handle.
barrel.
Yeah.
Well, it does have Jägermeister in it, so I thought, yeah,
It's one of
it
your
looks
favorites.
looks German. So this has 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of Jägermeister, and topped with Coke or Pepsi. Now I don't have Coke or Pepsi here, so I topped it with some Sprite.
Ew.
Well, the Coke or Pepsi just adds, more a darker vibe to it than I
Bubbles.
guess the Sprite does. But I just poured it into this, put some ice, and I called it done.
So you were looking forward to this time too, just for that, I think.
Oh my gosh, it is, it's surprising. I would think, oh my gosh, it's so strong. It's really good. But you have to like Jaeger,
Jaeger.
you know, which I do. So, but it's weird. It's like the vodka and the Jaeger together kind of cuts the Jaeger.
And I never
Sometimes,
would have thought of those two together.
no, me either. Me either. So now I'm on this trek. Well, how about does gin go with Jaeger? Does tequila go with Jaeger?
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. That might be
Does
too like
mezcal go
strong.
with
With what?
Jaeger? Uh, with Jaeger, it'd be very
One
earthy.
sip and she's already faceless over there.
Oh, this is more than one sip. I was waiting for you. So,
I was waiting for you, trying to get your camera.
oh
She
my
she
gosh.
didn't
I
have her
had
headphones plugged in, so she's trying to move her camera around, and I'm sitting like, "No,
nope,
mom, I see the
nope,
floor. I just see the
nope.
floor. I just see the floor." I have to wait for her to come around, sit down, put her headphones in.
You know what's really weird though is I had everything set up
I know it.
perfectly,
Yeah,
and then I left the room.
sure, sure,
Okay, talking about weird, dude. Do you
dude,
know what happened?
dude. No, tell me what happened.
Once again, Rossi,
Something with our stories.
Amelia Earhart,
Please tell
and
me
now,
there's not like a dance mania going on out there.
no, not that I know
Okay.
of. Maybe there is. No, it
What?
one of the persons that is deeply involved in this true crime
That you're telling tonight?
that I'm telling tonight actually cut off her monitor
Like
and
her ankle monitor?
her
Or
ankle
like,
monitor and disappeared on Saturday. Now this is Monday that we're recording. She disappeared Saturday night, was gone, and was finally found yesterday night, Sunday night, while I was writing this all up because it came in my feed and I was like, oh, I got to write this. So I was writing it all up and boom, I got another feed that she had been apprehended. So
I'm
why?
telling you, and I know what you're covering, and that's not been in the media or anything.
I'm covering Slenderman and it has been a while since anybody's done anything on Slenderman. So now, of course, everyone's talking Slenderman.
Well, I mean, and that it's just like the Ellen, like you had her story picked out for months and months and months. And literally the week that we set to record it, that huge documentary hit where everybody was talking about it.
And now this
I'm
Slender Man
telling
thing
you.
is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
The day that the lighthouse keepers are found or Dance Mania, that's the only episode that hasn't really been hit yet.
Just wait. I have one coming up. And if that one is hit too, because these seem to be following my trends,
Yeah,
if
they haven't been my stories yet, so that's good.
if the next one is hit, it's gonna you will see my mind just whoosh.
Well, I don't want to see that, but
Oh my gosh. So let me begin.
I'm dreading this.
This is the one Beth didn't want to cover this.
We were going to cover it together. She
We
was going
were.
to do like the crime, and I was going to do like the conspiracy theory of it. But the more I dug into it, it creeped me out. So I actually called and said, Mom, I don't want to do this episode anymore. And she goes, Well, I do. I said, Well, I'm not going to. So you hear on your own. So I picked out something different.
I just love the psychology of it.
I
So
know.
that's what I really liked about it. And to tell you the truth, I was walking Obi through the woods on a trail, listening to a Slender Man podcast
I couldn't.
talking about who he is, and he pops up
No,
behind trees and all this other stuff.
no.
And just
And in my room that I'm in right now, I have these two huge, almost like ceiling to floor windows that go right into the woods. I have the blinds closed because I'm already freaking out.
well, let me begin by telling people who don't know who Slender Man is, like my husband. Um,
I bet you
but
a lot of people don't.
no, no. It's like I said, it hasn't been spoken about, and especially like people my generation, we don't know who he is.
Introduce us, shall you? Shall
I
you? Tell your
okay.
story.
Now I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on him, whatever it is, because he just doesn't warrant the time. Um, he's fictional. He's not a real character.
He's creepy pasta, just like that
He
story I told in season
he
one with
is. That's right.
the sleep
He's a
theory
character
thing.
that started as creepypasta, an internet meme. Okay, now for those of you who don't know who Slenderman is, probably don't know what creepypasta is. It's any horror-related legend shared on the internet, written to frighten the reader. The term encompasses ghosts, cryptonoids, zombies, aliens, rituals to summon the dead, all those really scary things. Slenderman falls directly under this definition. In fact, he's probably the best known creepypasta, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's depicted as a very thin, very tall humanoid
Slender man.
with a
Sorry.
white head and a white face with no features and long tentacle like arms, thus faceless.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Sometimes he's described with an all black body. Most of the time, though, he's described wearing a black suit.
Oh,
He was ac- he was actually created. Are
sorry.
you really getting creeped out?
No, that just ties into my story, and I didn't even realize that.
He was created by Eric Knudsen, a something awful follower. So there's something on the internet. It's a group that's called Something Awful, and he was a follower of that in 2009. The contest he entered was a Photoshop contest in which the participants were told to create paranormal images. In one of the photos, Knudsen submitted a group of kids. And then in the background, kind of in the middle of them, in the background, is an odd, tall, thin figure.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
what's really scary is the caption. And usually these photos didn't include captions, but he decided he was going to add one. And this is quote, "We don't want to go. We didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outreached arms horrified and comforted us at the same time.
So creepypastas had to have some kind of a quote unquote proof with them to make them a
Yes. So
creepypasta. So
this was
photos were
this
usually,
was the photo, and
yeah.
underneath that it said 1983, photographer unknown,
And see,
presumed
I love
dead.
that. And this is before, AI got us with all
Yeah, this
their
is for real
fake, like,
Photoshop.
this is where, AI is taking away all the creativity nowadays. Like,
I
people
know. All
can
you have
just,
to do is talk and it pops in onto the
you just have to
screen.
ask a question, yeah, it's crazy. And this creativity came from his mind. It's genius. Like, it's terrifying, but you know what I mean? Like, we just don't get that nowadays. Kids
No.
don't have creepy pastas nowadays. Now they have
Well,
AI. It's just as
they
scary.
follow creepypasta, I'm pretty sure still.
The
People
ones, the ones that our generation made up.
yeah. Uh, oh,
Anyway,
maybe it's because of this photo that Slenderman stories most often involve children, which leads me to this episode's true crime. Payton Leutner and Morgan Geyser became friends in fourth grade. At the time, Morgan didn't really have any friends. She was bullied and made fun of by her classmates. She was a little different. Peyton saw this and befriended her. That's just the way Peyton was. She didn't like to see anybody alone. The two girls soon became inseparable at school and on the weekends, riding bikes, playing dolls and games, little kid stuff. They later became friends with Anessa Weir. I should have looked these words up, who also seemed to be somewhat of an outcast, being bullied at school. Although the three girls hung out together, Morgan and Anessa became very close as they both lived in the same apartment complex. And they kind of, well, they really connected because they were both bullied and they were both made fun of at school and they were both kind of outcasts. So that, that tied them together.
mm.
And they also shared a fascination with all things creepy pasta,
Mm.
which terrified Peyton. She didn't want anything to do with it. So in May 2014, Morgan was the last of the three to turn 12. Her birthday party was scheduled for Friday, May 30th. It was just going to be the three girls, but what fun they were going to have. Peyton, especially, was so excited. I mean, she had spent the night before, but they were going to go skating and eat pizza, and then they were going to stay the night at Morgan's house. It was going to be a
Oh my
super
gosh.
fun night, and
So
Peyton
fun.
loved to skate. In fact, she said she skated mostly by herself that night because she just loved to skate and kind of zone out. The day finally came and everything went as planned. Skating was a blast, pizza was delicious. Then at Morgan's house, the girls ran around, played dolls in Morgan's room until it was time to sleep. Now here where plans went awry. You see, Morgan and Anissa had started making plans months ago. In fact, they started in December of 2013. They were going to kill Peyton, who they called Bella, as she slept. They had to. Otherwise, Slenderman would hurt them and their families. By this time, they were so involved with the creepy pasta Slenderman that they believed it to be true. They had to offer him a sacrifice, and
Oh my gosh.
this had to be Bella. And afterwards, they would be awarded and go live with Slenderman in his mansion in the woods. Now, the plan did not go as planned. The girls were tired. They'd skate, they'd gone to school, they'd skate. Maybe they didn't go to school at that time, but they'd skated, they'd had pizza, they ran
It was
around like
probably really
crazy.
late too. If it's a slumber party, we always stay up
Right.
very
So,
late.
well, they slept. And then when Morgan woke up the next morning, she said, okay, I've got to make a new plan because this has to happen and it has to happen today. The task still had to be completed. Slender Man still had to be appeased. and they had to prove to the world that he was real. That was the other thing that they wanted to do by doing this. Morgan came up with a new plan, and with that plan came a 5-inch knife.
Mm.
Blade not, that was the blade, not the handle, just the blade. They told Payton that they were all going to take a walk in the woods near the apartment. This is not something the girls normally did, especially not on their own, and their parents would have let them. But Morgan's mother okayed it as long as they all stayed together. When the girls got to the woods, Morgan suggested they play hide and seek.
Oh gosh.
Payton was really hesitant. Something told her she just
No.
didn't really want to do this. But of course, she did it. And Morgan's mother did say to stay together.
Mm.
But
Yeah, and if you're playing hide and seek, you're definitely not staying together.
right. So Peyton's like, well, your mom said, and Morgan said, no, no, it's fine. We won't be separated long and we're all playing. So everything will be fine.
The girls are 12, right?
They are all 12 years old. They're all
Story
12
just
years
makes my
old.
tummy hurt. I don't know why.
It was while playing the game that Morgan surprised Peyton, came up behind her, and started stabbing her. Anessa shrank away from doing the actual stabbing, but cheered her friend on. Go ballistic, go crazy, get her, she
Oh my
screamed.
God. I don't get this.
Peyton was stabbed 19 times in her arms, legs, and torso. As she lay in the damp leaves, total unbelief engulfed her. She looked at her friends standing above her. Looking down, they told her to stay lying down. The blood won't come out as fast, and they are going to go run and get help. Now, they just stabbed her. And in some articles, I read that Inessa also told Peyton, cover yourself with leaves and twigs, and that will help staunch the blood also. Well, she wanted her to be hidden when
Oh,
she died.
oh my gosh.
The girls, of course, had no intention of getting help. Instead, they started their long walk to Slender Mansion, 200 miles away. Oh, something just hit me. You'll realize what it is later in the story. Fortunately, Morgan's plan.
She ran away. So
Hush.
she's still trying to. Okay, sorry.
No, she's still not trying to get there. No.
She. Okay, sorry.
Uh, Morgan's plan failed. I don't think the girls knew how strong and determined Peyton was.
She live?
This girl is unbelievable.
Oh, thank
Unbelievable.
God.
This is a quote.
Oh, thank God.
I got up, grabbed a couple of trees for support, I think, and then
Oh
just
my
walked until
gosh.
I hit a patch of grass where I could lay down. Peyton said that during an interview.
I mean, this poor thing, like, think about her trust issues from here on out for the rest of her life. She's going to be questioning anybody and everybody.
Yeah, no
Her
kidding.
whole life is just, oh, this makes me mad. Okay, go on. Sorry.
The grass where she laid down happened to be by a road, a chained off road. Okay. But it just so happened a cyclist decided to ride down it. I mean, think of the chances of
Thank
this.
God. Thank God.
The man found Peyton still alive, but barely, bleeding profusely. He called 911, telling the operator that he found a 12-year-old girl on the ground bleeding out. She had been stabbed. Operator. She was what? Man. Stabbed. Operator. Stabbed? Did you say stabbed? I mean, the whole scene was just that unbelievable. Then the story became even more unimaginable. The parents of the three girls were called. Morgan's and Anessa's were told their girls were missing, and Peyton's parents were called to the hospital. It took surgeons 6 hours to repair the stab wounds. Dr. John Killman, who operated on Peyton that day, is quoted as saying, if the knife had gone the width of a hair, a human hair further, she would have died.
Oh. My
the width
gosh.
of a human hair. And that was to the heart or the major artery. Another stab wound was through her diaphragm, cutting into her liver and stomach. Payton was released from the hospital 7 days later and was back in school in September.
Oh my gosh.
This happened in May. She was back in school. It's in September.
Mm.
She is, of course, traumatized by the attack even to this day, and she admits sleeping with broken scissors under her pillow.
Oh yeah.
Now, of course, she carries scars, visible scars, but these are the scars we can't see that are deep within her that who knows if they'll ever go away, you
Mm.
know? While Payton was in surgery, the police were frantically looking for Morgan and Anissa because they didn't know. Now, Payton did tell them that her friend stabbed her.
Good.
So, they
So
kind of
now they know
had
who to look for.
a suspicion of, well, the girls were missing.
Right.
So now it's kind of like, were they taken or are they running? 5 hours after the attack, the girls were found on the side of Interstate 94, about 5 miles from the woods where the attack occurred. They still had the knife with them, and that would be Morgan, who had the knife with her. And what happened next at the police station is where I think the real creepy things happened. I don't mean chairs moving by themselves or video suddenly stopping or anything like that. Again, I'm into the psychology. And I'm referring to the way the girls reacted to what they had done, especially Morgan. To me, that is creepier than any supernatural event could ever be.
Because they think all of this is real. Like, like
Yeah. The parents of the two girls were informed that the girls had been found and were at the police station being questioned. Now, a parent does not have to be present when a child is interviewed. Police, in fact, find that the child can be more open to them without a parent
sure.
present.
Sure.
So even though these girls were 12, a parent did not need to be in the interview room with them.
Mm.
Okay, so I watched the interview in a 2020 episode called The Wicked Online, season 42, episode 5. Anessa sat
Season
in a
42. Sorry.
I know, right?
Holy,
We're season 2.
holy moly.
Yeah, but this is 2020. Anyway, Anessa sat in a chair crying. The first thing she wanted to know was how far she had walked. She said she's not athletic, so she wants to know the distance of what she had walked that day. Then she tells the
What?
interviewer that Morgan, quote, can be a little dopey sometimes. She hears voices.
What?
Anessa sounded like a frightened 12-year-old, maybe not quite understanding the enormity of what had happened.
Doesn't sound like it.
She said the whole time Payton was crying out in agony. Although it was Anessa who first found Slenderman on the internet and introduced the creepypasta to Morgan, it was Morgan who decided that they had to kill someone. Otherwise, Slenderman would kill them and their families. We had to kill someone, a friend. We chose Payton. As little girl like as Anessa was in the interview room, Morgan was so scary to watch. I mean, the creep factor was so high. The only reaction, although slight, was when she asked the detective if Payton was dead. When told she was still alive in the hospital, Morgan looked like her head was down and she raised it a little bit and she looked just like a little surprised. When she was left alone in the interview room,
Oh
she
gosh.
danced. She was dancing, twirling her hair. She
What?
sat on the chair that turned around and she would ride the chair around. Like, not a care in the world. Like, not at all.
I mean, to just stab somebody. I don't understand this.
19 times.
I don't
I'll
understand
probably
this.
have to go for jail. I'll probably have to go to jail for this, won't I? She asked. Locked up to rot and die. She told the detectives about the month-long plan they started plotting in December. What did you plan? Asked the detective. To kill her. Might as well say it. To kill Payton. When asked about the stabbing itself, Morgan responded, I don't know what happened. It just happened. It was like air. When asked if she felt bad that she had stabbed one of her best friends, Morgan said, I thought about it, but then I decided remorse would get me nowhere. It's easier to live without regrets.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's
Then
obviously a
she also
screw loose.
stated it was a flawless plan.
Well, obviously there were flaws because she lived and you got caught.
She sat through hours long interview, perfectly calm, like someone was asking her how her birthday party went. Just,
Ugh.
it was so creepy, Beth. It was
I
so
just don't
creepy to
understand how
watch.
people can go, like, was she just totally normal until that day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how can you just go from playing dolls and going skating to all of a sudden being like this?
Well,
Or has there always been signs of her being a
there
little
is a
off?
reason for this, and I will go into that. But of course, the girls pointed fingers at each other as to who came up with the plan and who wielded the knife. But it was pretty obvious to detectives who the instigator was and who did the actual stabbing. Morgan knew what they had done, what she had done, and felt no remorse or guilt at all. The next day, both girls were charged as adults with attempted first degree intentional homicide. But 3 months later, a judge found Morgan incompetent and suspends the prosecution. The next month, a judge orders a delay in Wire's case pending psychological evaluation. The girls are evaluated by experts. Their parents are questioned and their rooms are searched. Oh boy, oh boy. Anissa's phone was searched and a note was found to friends and family saying goodbye and not to mourn her. Now,
And this is Anissa's?
Now remember though, she thought she was going to live in the mansion with Slenderman.
Did she think Morgan was going to turn on her?
So no, I think she thought if they got away with this, I mean, they were on their way to live in the mansion with Slenderman. That was 200 miles away.
Oh, I get it.
So she was
I
saying
mean, I
goodbye.
don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't get
I know.
any of this, but I get okay.
Now, her parents had no idea that she had gotten so caught up in creepy pasta characters. They had never even heard her speak of Slenderman, although she's the one who turned Morgan on to Slenderman. But her parents had no idea. Now, Morgan's mother, when she was interviewed, admitted that yes, she knew Morgan was interested in Slenderman, but thought nothing of it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just a character.
quote, she said, I was reading Stephen King at her age, so no big deal.
Okay.
But had her mother done a little bit more investigating and maybe snuck in Morgan's room, she probably would have changed her mind.
Or even like looked into who Slender Man was.
Police found notebooks
Not
full.
blaming anybody though. I need to
No,
just make
no,
that
no. I
clear.
mean, you don't. Police found notebooks full of horrible drawings, blood, appendages cut off, stabbing, etc. Words like, I want to die, help me escape my mind, and Barbie dolls that no longer even resembled Barbie dolls, hands cut off as well as feet and legs. They had been drawn on with red marker, depicting blood pouring out of them, their stomachs sliced open. Her mother did recall a time when Morgan was 2 or 3, and the family was watching Bambi for the first time. Now, Morgan's parents were a little hesitant because of when Bambi's mother died.
Oh, it's traumatizing. I just
Yeah.
introduced that to, well, I introduced that to Evie a few months ago. So sad.
Oh, what was her reaction to Bambi's mom being at that scene? That
Well,
scene right
Evie was
there.
only is only 2, so I don't think she fully grasped it. Finn cried. Finn got very
Oh,
sad about it, and he's 4. So he understood that. But I mean, at the same time, it's a Disney movie. He cried during Lion King as well. So
Oh, my
we
baby boy.
we can't watch Lion King, which stinks because the music is great and I grew up on Lion King. But past that Mufasa dying, they have no interest. They just don't want to watch it. All three of my boys wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, their hearts are too big.
Okay, sure. But
Anyway,
they want to watch Jurassic Park. Okay.
that's different somehow. It's totally different. I get
Yeah,
it.
I mean, yeah.
So Morgan showed no reaction to the mom being shot, and maybe it was that she didn't grasp it, but she just cheered Bambi on. Run, Bambi, run, Bambi, run, Bambi.
Okay, but
So,
yeah.
that makes sense if she didn't, really understand what had happened.
Are you saying Evie's creepy because she didn't understand what happened?
No, my granddaughter would never be creepy.
She was
So,
interested in Thumper. That's all she cared about.
of course she would
Where'd the
be.
bunny? Where'd the
So
bunny? Where'd the
cute.
bunny
So
go?
cute.
Where'd the bunny go? He's so cute. I want to hug it. I want to hug it. It's so cute.
That would be more her speed right there.
Is that Elmoira? Is that from Looney Tunes? Is that who that is?
Elvira. Yeah, I think
Elvira?
it's
Elmoira?
the one who squeezes the
Who
cats
like
all the
yeah, it's
time.
just like
All
squeezes
the
the
animals.
animals. Yeah, that's Evelyn.
All
Sorry.
right.
Sorry, I'm
So
trying to bring some lightness to this.
levity.
Go on, mother.
The following court stuff is all about whether the girls should be tried as adults or juveniles. Okay.
What do you think?
Adults. Totally
Okay.
adults. That's me. But
I think the
if,
fact that she planned it the way she
yeah,
did
exactly.
and like
And
really
carried it out not once, not twice, 19 times.
yeah, exactly. And like put a lot of thought into this. Like
But
we're
get
doing
this,
this.
had they been tried as juveniles, they would serve maybe 2 years, then be released with community supervision until they turned 18. So
Uh,
that does not meet the crime whatsoever.
no.
In December 2014, Judge Michael Boren rules that both girls understood the charges and a preliminary hearing was set for February. At this February hearing, Morgan's lawyer said that Morgan truly believed she had to kill to keep herself safe from Slenderman. This would have dropped the charges to attempted second degree intentional homicide, and the girls would have been tried in juvenile court. The next month, the judge came back with a ruling. He rejected the kill or be killed, and the girls were set for trial as adults. In January 2016, a civil judge approved Morgan going to a state mental hospital from the juvenile detention center she had been in. She had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and would get treatment at the hospital for the voices in her head, like the voice of Slenderman.
Hmm.
I don't know if I say this later on, but actually, Morgan's father had also been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he had been in and out of the state hospital like 4 times.
Are there like any symptoms of that? Like I
Usually
just
the
don't
symptoms,
understand how nobody saw any issues.
because
All of a sudden
usually
she
the
just
symptoms don't really come out until children are 18.
I was just gonna say, isn't it like 18 to 21?
18 to
Isn't that like the
21 is
window?
when these things usually show themselves, manic depressiveness, and schizophrenia, and all these things show themselves between that age. So this is kind of young, but she had been hearing voices in her head. I mean, her friend Anissa
What do
said
you like?
that.
What do you
And
think? Like teachers, did teachers see, or you know what I mean? Like I just don't understand
yeah,
how.
did she draw these pictures at school? Did she, what did she write at school in essays and stuff? I mean,
Not that anybody could have done anything. I'm not.
no, but was there
I'm
any
just trying to
sign?
figure
Was
out
there
the
any
psychology.
sign?
I'm just trying to see the psychology as well. It just doesn't go from one to the other like flip flop. So she planned it for like a month, you said. So
No, no. She planned it Starting in December, this is May, 6 months.
Yeah, so there had to have been some kind of a sign in those 6 months that something was
Well,
off.
they kept it pretty secret, the
That's
two girls.
Well, yeah, isn't Slenderman like you're not supposed to tell your parents? Like, isn't that part
Oh
of the
yeah,
story? Part of
everything
the like
is
part of the Slenderman creepypasta was like parents are bad. Like they can't know about me. They can't know what I'm doing.
oh, parents are bad, teachers are bad, adults are bad. I mean, it
That's
was
what makes
just
it so scary.
yeah.
It's so scary because ugh, ugh, no.
So in July of 2016, the Court of Appeals ruled that the girls will be tried as adults. Juvenile court is out, period.
Hmm.
In August of 2016, Morgan pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease. Doctors are ordered to evaluate her. The next month, Anissa enters the same plea and she is also evaluated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Morgan has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, so keep
Yeah.
that. In August 2017, Anissa pleaded guilty to attempted second degree homicide as a party to a crime with the use of a deadly weapon. So she pleaded guilty. She will proceed to trial after her evaluations. The next month, Anissa is found not guilty by reason of mental disease.
Anissa?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, those tests and stuff are pretty like intense.
Yes.
Obviously, there's something.
Jurors agreed that she was suffering from a mental disorder. Experts called it, quote, shared psychotic disorder. In other words, she was under a spell of delusion
Kind of
when
like
she
a
had
cult.
almost, yeah, she was under the spell of delusion when the attempted murder happened. So in December, she was committed for 25 years to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute. She was to spend 3 years in the institute and then be allowed to seek release under supervision, where she would stay until she turned 37.
Hmm.
Morgan was committed to 40 years of mental health treatment, but can be transferred to another institution where she can get better treatment for her schizophrenia. Now, Morgan, because she's the one who actually wielded the knife, actually committed the crime, she was in this mental health treatment facility. It's a state mental health institute. She was actually housed with adult murderers.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, like, if you're getting charged as an adult, I get it. But then you're getting housed with them. That's
Mm-hmm. And these are mental institutions.
yeah.
So these are the psychotic sociopaths, you know, that are housed here.
Oh.
Yeah. In March of 2021, Anissa asked for conditional release from the mental health hospital, and in July, Judge Boren granted her release. And on September
I
13th,
remember when that happened.
2021, Anissa was released with a GPS tracker device, supervised case managers, and this will be enforced until she's 37.
Hmm.
In April of 2024, Morgan's appeal for conditional release was denied. At the time, she was still at the Winnebago Mental Health Institute, and in January, appealed to be transferred. The judge approved the transfer, but in February, prosecution fought the release of Morgan, who is now also diagnosed with autism and admitted in treatment that she was okay. So January is 2024. Okay. So the judge then approved the transfer into more lenient type of institution. Okay. Like a group home.
Okay.
But prosecution fought this and said, Morgan's not ready to do this.
What? It's only been like 7 years?
10 years.
Okay.
It happened in 14.
I can't do math. I'm not a mathin. I drank my
She
cocktail,
ad-
all gone. No mathin.
she admitted in treatment that she was reading a very graphic book and was communicating with a man outside of the facility. Now
Mm.
this book was very graphic in its sadism. and it's uh, sexism, and I mean it was horrible. You know, it was
So,
a horrible graphic book.
but these doctors are, why are they letting her?
Why are they letting her have this book? I do not
You
understand.
saw how the
How can
creepypasta
that book
interacted.
even be in the facility for anybody?
I want to know what book it was.
And then,
I want to know what book she'd be reading.
well, and also this weird, nobody knew who this guy was that she was in
Was she though?
communication with.
Was
Yeah,
she
she
though?
was. She was. Um,
Slenderman.
in July 2025, a judge approved Morgan, now 22, to be moved to a new facility where she will be in custody and monitored by GPS, but will have more freedom. It's like I said, it's basically a group home. But as you can tell, the story has twists and turns, and those will not stop right now. Just before her move into the Sand Prairie group home, the facility withdrew its offer,
Oh,
stating the reason as being there's too much publicity with Morgan's case, and they were not equipped to deal with that or Morgan. And another thing that they didn't make as public, but this group home is in a residential area,
oh,
and the people who live there were just like, no, 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 no. We do not want her
not with
around
the
our children. We
publicity
don't
and
want her
no.
around anywhere in our homes. And they really put up a big fight. Then two other group homes fell through. In October 2025,
And these
more,
homes like have her charts. Like we're just seeing it from the outside. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And these are homes, they're group homes to facilitate
But they're seeing like
this.
her charts. So there's obviously, I am assuming there's no growth there. There's no, she still needs the help of like a hospital.
She still needs the help, but the group homes can facilitate that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not as much as she needs.
Yeah.
It's just, it's giving her a little bit more freedom. Well, giving anybody that moves into these a little bit more freedom so they can, when they do finally, when they're released into society,
Introducing them into
it's
society
more
slowly.
of a smooth move into society instead of from the state institution into boom, now you're, out here.
Especially when she's been there since she's 12. Like she's been
Exactly.
incarcerated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see the need.
Finally, in October 2025, Morgan was finally moved to an undisclosed group home.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind that the prosecutors were against this move from the very beginning, and they should have been listened to. Now we're going to go back to Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, the day before our scheduled recording of this podcast. And like I said, I was letting Obi, well, maybe I
What
didn't
is
say
going on with Killer Hangover? And like you guys are all listening to this months later, so I don't think it's going to have as much of a
impact.
whoa as it has to us, but this just keeps happening.
Beth, I was freaking out last night. So I was letting Obi do his business
So
outside for the last
instead of
time.
me
And
texting you the conspiracy theory at 2 o'clock in the morning,
I
you
just I
gonna
know
text
that you
me.
get no sleep anyway.
No, I put my do
So
not disturb on at 8:30 every night so that I just
I was kind of scrolling on my phone, and I got to my updates on my phone, and I have all true crime stuff on my phone too. So
yeah, that's our like
um
that's
Morgan had cut off her monitoring bracelet and escaped from the group home. She was last seen Saturday, November 22nd at 8:15 p.m. with an adult acquaintance. I think that was the guy she had been talking to. A 911 call was placed at 7:46 a.m. Sunday morning, reporting Morgan missing. Police responded immediately with a widespread manhunt. Now, she was last seen at 8:15, okay, by people at the group home. Then the people who follow the GPS thing noticed that her her anklet or whatever was not responding. Okay, so they called the group home. The group home then searched the place and couldn't find her. But the police were not called until 7:46 a.m. on Sunday.
what?
Yeah. Um,
That's
I don't know how that happened. There was a glitch in there somewhere. Definitely.
we had a local hospital here. I don't want to like coordinate where I live, but we have a local hospital here that has a psych ward. They like transfer people through, and we had a man escape. And there was police officers at the entrance to like every neighborhood, every street within, I mean, everywhere. And when I came in, I had to show my had to show them my ID and show them that I did live here, so that they checked my car so that I could drive my children
Mhm.
home from school. And they told us that there was a man that had escaped, and he had committed crimes and was had escaped the psych ward. And we had to go home, and they said, go home and lock your doors. I was so scared. And there was helicopters flying everywhere. And but that had to have been like right away.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that that's exactly what happened once the police were
Hours
told.
later,
I mean, they went full out, just what you were describing. And then I was thinking, well, how about the Leutner family, Peyton's family? And they were informed right away, and law enforcement worked with the family to ensure their safety. They were
oh, I just
kept
got
up to
chicken
date
bumps.
the whole time. As I was adding, like I said, as I was adding this update on
What was the
Sunday
light
night,
bulb that went into your head just when you were telling this story,
I will
though?
tell you in just a
Okay.
minute. I haven't forgotten it because it's so weird.
Okay.
Um, so as I was adding the update late Sunday night, it was late. I received yet another update. The search for Morgan had been canceled, had been called off. She had been apprehended in Illinois at 10:34 p.m. I mean, the timing that I had at this was just incredible, I think. Anyway, she and the other adult, there have been no names released, were found at a truck stop 25 miles south of Chicago, sleeping on a sidewalk. The truck stop is 200 miles away from the group home. Isn't
Oh,
that isn't that weird?
that's a dumb coincidence. That's dumb.
Isn't that just weird?
Mom, that's just dumb. I don't like that at all. I don't like
So
that at all.
I I have to follow up. I have to keep doing these dang updates.
I know.
I have to
It's
follow
annoying
up.
for you because I'm like, Mom, yeah, I'm sorry, you got to record an update and you got to put it in the episode somehow.
I'm thinking she'll be sent back to the state institution, but that's not
Yeah,
a
they're
given.
not going to send her back to the
It's
home,
not a
especially
given.
when they mistreated the whole, didn't even tell the
Well,
police.
one, she cut off her bracelet. That's a felony. Two, she crossed state lines. That's another felony.
I want to know who she
So
was with.
they have not released anything. He was let go.
I mean,
He was
technically,
let
he
go.
didn't do anything wrong.
You know, I
Housing a fugitive, I guess, but
yeah.
he's not.
So I think, I don't know if they're going to call him back or what the deal is
By the
with
way,
him.
if anybody was concerned, they did capture the man in the woods behind my house. But he was captured because he started waving somebody down on the road right behind the woods behind my house because it was like below zero and all he had was the gown that you have in the hospital.
Oh dear.
So he was cold.
He must have been freezing.
If anybody was worried about us, we're fine.
I think we pretty much assumed you were, but
Anyway, back to your story.
well, that's the end. But I'm happy you let me do this because not that you
Sure.
really are, not that you're in charge, but it was really an interesting case to
I
me.
just didn't like the whole like my part was to cover like Slenderman, like his story, and it's like
Nah, he's not worth the time and effort.
it just
Not at
gives
all.
me heebie-jeebies. It's one of those questions kind of like paranormal, like when you go into a haunted house. Is this house haunted because it really is haunted by ghosts, or is it because so many people have come in here wishing to see something? They've opened all these doors, they've brought in the Ouija boards, they've brought in all these things, so now it's haunted. And that's kind of like Slenderman, like is what he started as just some made up story, but now that it's been given all this energy and all this liveness. I don't even
He's
know.
still not real. He's still not real.
It just,
But I think it becomes real in these people's minds. And
yeah,
obviously, they had mental disabilities. They both were
mental disorders. Yeah. But like,
both were fighting with this. So I
but,
think it's
but,
easier. It's
but
easier.
they're children. That's the problem too, is they're just children. You
They
know,
are.
like they're so easily influenced. I mean, that's why I will never let my children get on YouTube because there's so many videos that'll just stumble upon and it's like, don't tell your parents or you'll die. Like there I've just heard all these horrible stories.
Well, I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Don't get me wrong. But I do not think 10, 11, 12-year-old should be on things like creepy pasta. It
No.
just messes with their minds.
Mm-mm.
And then you get things like this, especially if a child is suffering from, some mental disorder. I
Or
mean,
from
it's
anything. I mean, anything from just their parents getting divorced or somebody looking for attention or being bullied at school and then they turn to the internet for anything. And
right.
I just, I,
They're
I,
lonely,
I know
they're anything.
I am not mother of the year by any means, but my children, if they have an interest, I research that interest. I look into that interest so I can share that with them. I also monitor their internet usage. Like you have to. You have to go and educate yourself
Oh, there's so
on
much
how to
out there
work the
now.
internet,
Yeah.
how to use and monitor and put locks on things or what have you, the age restrictions, everything. Like there are ways to keep our children safe and educate and just make them aware too of what is right and wrong. So I I don't know. Internet is a scary, scary place. So yes, if they have a mental disorder, sure, it's scary. But I mean, I think just children in general, because they're just so influenced nowadays.
They are.
Hell, I'm on TikTok and I'm influenced like 100 times to buy a skincare product or a pair of shoes. Like it's so easy.
Oh, all right. Well, we did it. We covered Slenderman.
Okay, moving on.
Hello. I'm interrupting this episode to share with you some exciting news. We've started a Patreon called After Hours. It's a space where we continue the conversation. After each episode, we spend some extra time talking more in depth about the cases. We share additional thoughts and sometimes just have a more relaxed behind the scene discussion. We also talk about current events and the true crime or paranormal shows and podcasts we've been enjoying lately. New After Hours episodes will be released every other week, helping fill in those gaps when we're not putting out public episodes. And we'll be continuing these episodes even between seasons. If you'd like a little more time with us each month, we'd love to have you join us. You can find After Hours on Patreon, and there's a link in the show notes. All right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, we're gonna lighten things up a bit.
Yay.
This story is one of my favorites because it begins with something so ordinary and becomes something so incredibly strange. Plus, like I just said, it's going to lighten the mood after your little tale over there. Our story begins on May 23rd, 1964, in northern
Oh, we're
England.
both Mays.
Okay. That's not the tie I heard earlier. You'll get it when I say it. But anyway, May 23rd, 1964, in northern England, just across from Scotland, the place that I keep covering.
Just across, they're neighbors.
So we are moving a little further away from Scotland, but okay. So today they call it Cumbria. I don't know. I don't even know why I put that in my notes because I can't even pronounce it. But back then it was a rural, windswept, saltwater-kissed corner of England where the land stretches flat and far and quiet. It's a gentle, sunny Sunday afternoon, and a man named Jim Templeton is a 44-year-old, a fireman. He takes his family to Berg Marsh, a broad, empty expanse near the Solway Firth. Do you know what a firth is?
No, I do not.
I didn't either. It's a long, narrow inlet of the sea or like a river that opens up to the sea. And so, but basically, it's just like this big field, just a big open field. It's like a marsh.
Big field.
Hmm.
Okay.
But it's not like hilly or mount, it's just a big open
Flat field.
field. Now, Jim loved photography, not professionally, just as a hobby. And he and his wife, Annie, brought their 5-year-old daughter, Elizabeth, out for a little outing.
Now that's why you like it.
No, just wait. Elizabeth was wearing a new dress, and Jim had his Kodak SLR with him that day. He thought he thought it'd be a perfect chance for a few pictures.
Sure.
It's very rare to have those moments to take pictures of your children. It's a beautiful day, an open field, a new dress. Let's
Well,
do
it's a lot
this.
easier for us now. It was had to be a planned thing back
Yes.
then.
And the weather was perfect. Jim was so excited because it looked like when they arrived that they had the whole field to themselves.
Mm.
According to Jim, no one else was around. He'd later say the only other people he noticed were two older ladies sitting in a car at the far end of the marsh. No hikers, no workers, no children, just quiet.
Wow.
So, with little bursts of wind to tousle the hair and the sunshine hitting his daughter just right, he began to snap some photos. Jim lifted his camera. Elizabeth sat in the grass, and Jim snapped 3 photos in quick succession. And I do that all the time when I'm taking pictures of my kids. I take like a ton of pictures because they're
Just
always
in case.
moving. Nobody's looking the right way. I mean, nowadays you can put your camera in live, which is very
Mhm.
helpful for editing purposes. But yes, I'm always taking like a ton because one of them is bound to work out. So you never know, right? Somebody's blinking, looking, moving, whatever. They're kids.
Well, and Finn never looks in the camera, so it's really hard to get him when everybody is together.
And when he does, he looks just terrified. Like every single photo of Finnegan is just, and he is the most gorgeous little boy.
He
I
is such
don't,
a beautiful child, but the pictures don't do him justice.
no, he looks lost. He looks lost or like I'm threatening him to smile. Either one. No. Okay. So back to Jim and Elizabeth. 3 photos in quick succession. Back to back to back. 3 photos. All normal, nothing strange, nothing unusual happening, just taking pictures of his kid. But when Jim picks up the prints from the local chemist, the technician hands them over. You know, back in the day, you had to get them like
Yes. Oh,
done.
I remember those days.
Back in the day. Oh, I think was it you that you were like, you don't have to sit there and plug like a USB and like order. Was that you I was talking to?
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was me.
I
That
was like,
was
you can
me.
just send it over an app, mom. And then
You haven't even sent me that app yet, by the way.
I will. I will. And they tell you when the pictures are done, you drive and you pick them up. It's really easy. You don't even have to deal with people. That's the best thing nowadays. You don't have to deal with people. Okay, back to Jim. 3 pictures, back to back to back, all normal, nothing strange, nothing unusual. Jim goes to pick up his prints, and the technician hands them over. And Jim takes them out because he's anxious to look at them. And the man apparently is hovering over Jim, looking at the pictures too. And he says,
Ooh. I wonder if he looks at everybody's picture. Oh, actually,
creepy.
he'd probably already seen them.
Right. And he asks Jim, who's the man behind your daughter? Jim's like, what? What are you talking about? And he looks, and there in the second photo, only the second photo, stands a tall white figure behind Elizabeth.
Oh,
The upper body looks bulky. The head looks encased in something reflective. You know what? I'm just going to send you the photo.
initially it looks like a bow in her hair,
Mm-hmm. It does. It doesn't at all, Mom.
but then with my glasses on, it looks like
was to say it doesn't look like a bow at all, but okay.
She's a cute little girl.
I
It
know.
looks like a spaceman,
Yeah.
but he's faceless also.
Uh, he is faceless, but
Actually, you cannot tell whether he is
it looks like
turned.
he's turned away. Honestly, it looks like his back. Like it,
It's a, I mean, it's hard to tell whether it's his back or his front, but he does look like
but
he's
doesn't it look
turned
like a
to,
man? It's very bulky,
yeah,
like
definitely a man, definitely a
wider
man. And it
shoulders.
almost looks like he's turned to the side.
Yeah. And it almost looks helmet-like, something on his head. He's like, yeah, slightly turned away, not facing the camera. I think it looks like he's not facing the camera. That's like the back of him.
But what would he be standing on? And he's
And
kind of slanted too, so it's not
well,
like he's
well,
standing straight.
the ground is kind of slanted as well. But
But that makes him super tall
but
proportionately.
not necessarily. I don't think so.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think so. But it like
Wait, Beth, did you see that white that's underneath her hair?
yeah, it's probably like his foot.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Like that's the point, Mom. Like this is not transparent. Like this is not some like it's not blurry, it's not transparent. It's solid. Like it's a solid thing
It's a Martian.
standing there.
It
Jim
is.
Jim was stunned. He said later,
I'm stunned.
he said later, quote, there was no one else in the marsh. I was shocked when the middle picture came back with what looks like a spaceman in the
A
background.
Martian in the marsh.
Oh God. I'm dead. Okay. Kodak themselves inspected and examined the negative, and they concluded there was no tampering, there was no double exposure, there was no processing error. This wasn't a trick of the film. This figure was physically present when Jim snapped the photo, but Jim insists they had been alone.
Alone. But
Annie,
I
his
mean, he did it
wife,
quick, right? Two. So the
yeah,
other two didn't show anything.
nothing. And she didn't move. It's not like she moved locations. It was literally like, okay, look over here. Da, da, da. Like weird.
So weird.
And
I'm sorry.
Annie,
What did Annie do?
she says the same thing. We were alone. It was just us three there. And little Elizabeth remembers nothing unusual either.
Besides a Martian standing on her head.
And three behind her, three clicks, one right after the other. Elizabeth barely even moves in the three photos, but it's just the middle photo. And suddenly the Templetons were at the center of an international mystery.
I bet they were.
The local paper runs the image, then the national papers run the image, then the international wires, Australia, the United States, Europe, they run the picture. Kodak publicly states, because now it's just getting huge, and Kodak publicly states, we have no explanation for this. Which doesn't help the fact that people are already freaking out.
Oh my gosh. Well, if they don't, they don't because they would have had to give the explanation, but they don't have it.
No. Reporters camped outside Jim's house.
Ugh.
Magazine stories speculate about astronauts, extraterrestrials, time travelers. The figure becomes known as the Solway Firth Spaceman, even though no one had claimed it was a spaceman at all, but that's literally what it looks like.
Yeah. With a helmet. With a helmet. Yeah.
Police inspected the photo, which, I mean, if Kodak inspected it, I don't know what the police are going to do, but they inspect the photo and they find nothing criminal. Why would there be something criminal? I don't. Why'd you even have to get involved, Mr. Police? But okay. But they admitted that the figure was peculiar. And
Are these the Keystone Cops that you're talking about?
this is not the era of Photoshop. It's a figure appearing on the negative as well. It was physically present in the scene during the picture. And Jim, for his part, avoided sensational claims. He just kept repeating, we didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody there. I mean, I kind of equivalent Jim to like my stepdad, Tom. Very like un, there's nothing extraterrestrial. There's literally, I don't know what it is, but I know nothing was there. That's it. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to put myself, I just leave me alone. I didn't see anything there when I took the picture, but clearly something's there. Now
And
move on.
that's all I have to say
Like,
about that.
but then you have people like me, but like
But
how?
what
But
is
like
it? What
why?
is
But like,
it?
please tell me. So he just keeps repeating, we didn't see anybody. The people and Beth want answers. And when answers don't come, theories do.
Of course.
One theory, still debated today, claims the figure is simply Annie Templeton, his wife, caught from behind in a pale blue dress that appeared white when overexposed. Like the picture was over, and she's not overexposed. The picture, the lighting in the picture is overexposed.
That would make sense if he was doing clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, maybe she like quickly walked by, and that's
No,
just what it
that she would
captured.
have had to fly by.
There are a few points to support this theory. Her dress was light colored that day. Jim's camera viewfinder only shows about 70% of the actual image. So if he's like looking in the camera hole, he can't see what's going on around him. He can only see like what's in 70% of his visual. So he may not have seen her step into frame for a quick moment. Annie might have turned away, creating that bulky posture illusion. But here's where this starts to fall apart. Annie denies she was behind Elizabeth. She was behind her husband, which makes sense. I would be behind the camera too, being like, look over here, look over here. Hello, smile. Oh, hold your flowers so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, smile.
Unless she
Like,
was a total egomaniac, you want the picture of the little girl, not her
and
anyway.
why would
So
you be like turned her like back around, like turning away from her, like in the back?
I'm still saying she did not have enough time. It would have caught her on one side, the middle, and then the other side
And
had she been passing.
like I said, Jim is not looking for like attention here. So he's like, these are just my family pictures. This is just what popped up. If it really isn't such a big deal, he would be like, oh, yeah, my wife is probably just in the picture. Moving on. Like, but it's become such a big deal because he's literally like, there was nobody there. There was nobody in this field with my daughter. And the figure appears taller and broader than Annie. The helmet like shaped head doesn't match her hair. Even analysts who support the Annie theory admit they can't replicate the helmet like appearance. People have tried to replicate this. They've tried to, uh, and they just can't get the whole helmet.
No, that is
Like
a total helmet.
it's a helmet.
Was Annie wearing a helmet that day?
The figure is shockingly bright, like almost
Mhm.
metallic looking compared to the rest of the photo.
Mhm.
No one saw Annie step behind Elizabeth. She said she didn't. But for me, like I know my way around photo editing. I love like Lightroom and all that kind of stuff. And, making your pictures lighter and overexposing them and like changing,
Excuse me. I'm
bless
sorry.
you, changing the lighting and everything. I, I do that. I love to do that. But in this photo, the sky is the same picture as the sky in the other two photos. So if he was going to overexpose it or there was overexposure in that photo, the sky, like the grass, her dress, it would be all a different color. Everything would be overexposed, not just like one, not just Annie in the background.
One teeny section of her back of her head.
Yeah. Even Kodak engineers reported that the figure looked, quote, too odd to match a simple, misexposed person. Okay. And then came the visit.
Mm.
And I'm about to bring you down a rabbit hole. This is a little sub story, if you will, because I couldn't not do this. It was just too interesting to me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Not long after the photo hit newspapers, Jim was visited at his workplace by two men in a black car. Their car was pristine. too clean, too polished for rural England in 1964. Both wore dark suits, which is why I freaked out about your whole Slenderman crap. Sober expressions, white shirts, black ties. Okay. A very stern
They have
authority.
shades on and earpieces.
Mm. They introduced themselves not by name, but by number. Number 9 and number 11. Jim said he thought this was strange right away.
Yeah. Hello, I'm number 9.
Government agents in the UK usually identified themselves by names.
Names.
These men did not. They asked Jim to take them to the marsh. He agreed, thinking, okay, these guys are like obviously some government investigators or something, like the way they're dressed, the way they're so uniformed. I'm going to take them to the marsh. During the drive, they barely speak. When they did, their phrasing felt odd, he said. It felt almost rehearsed. Jim later says they spoke like people who understood English, but not necessarily social interaction.
Mm.
When they reached the marsh, one man asks bluntly, "You must tell us where the man in the photograph was standing." Jim explains again, "There was no man here. I did not see a man here. I don't know where the man was. There's no man here." The two, number 9 and number 11, grow very irritated. Not angry, they're not yelling, they just seemed very frustrated.
Frustrated, yeah.
As if Jim was withholding something. They just, without another word, they turn, they walk away across the marsh, and they disappear. They just kept walking. They just walked away. And Jim never saw them again. And again, honestly, after watching all like the interviews, I can't say it enough. Jim is like my stepfather. Just like, what in God's name? These men, then they just walked away. I guess they must have parked over there across the marsh, but they parked over there in Scotland. They just walked away.
So he just got into their really clean car and drove back.
Oh, he drove them there.
Oh, I thought you said the car was really clean.
Their car that they showed up to his workplace was.
Oh,
He drove them there in his
okay.
vehicle.
Okay.
And Jim never saw them again and describes it as the strangest encounter he had ever had in his entire life. Were they government agents?
Number 9 and 11.
Possibly, but several details don't fit. Government investigators don't use numerical names. These men acted very strangely. Their mannerisms were described as unnatural. They vanished on foot. No car sounds returning, no ride home. They just, whatever, just walked away. And here's where Jim's encounter becomes part of a much bigger story. Because the men in black have been reported before.
Uh,
The phrase gets tossed around so much in pop culture now that we think of sunglasses, neuralizers, Will Smith,
yeah,
rapping.
exactly.
But long before Hollywood turned them into a comedy, the men in black were whispered around in the UFO circles as something far more unsettling for years. Long before Hollywood got involved, witnesses described men with pale skin, strange speech patterns, robotic mannerisms back in the 40s.
Wow.
They often wore black suits and hats, even in hot climates. They knew too much about witnesses' experiences. They warned people to stay quiet. They sometimes asked bizarre questions like they didn't understand basic objects. Many described them as, just like Jim had, not quite human. Like they could communicate, but their mannerisms and like their socializing was just off. Jim's visitors fit this pattern so closely, it's uncomfortable. So back in 1947, this is the first Men in Black case occurred just after Roswell. You're laughing, but there's so many Men in Black actual stories. The first one's from 1947. A man named Harold Dahl claimed a man in a black suit told him, Quote, I know a great deal about this experience of yours than you will want to believe.
Well, what did he experience? Do you know?
Roswell.
Oh,
Harold
sorry.
Harold Dahl. Yes. Similarity to Jim's encounter is eerie. And here's the chilling part. Jim's case is one of the earliest and clearest Men in Black accounts in the UK. Most Men in Black lore was coming out of America in the 40s and the 50s and the early 60s. Britain didn't have many of these stories yet at all. They didn't hadn't really heard them. It wasn't a thing. So it's just really weird that he tells this story of this happening and Americans are like, "Hold on."
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Jim's visitors fit the profile eerily well. Black suits, unmarked car, no identification, numbered identities rather than names, strange demeanor, sudden appearance, sudden disappearance, the sense that they already knew something he didn't. And they weren't asking him about, they didn't ask him about the picture. They didn't ask him about, like, show me the camera, show me the picture. They wanted to know where the man was. It just,
Where was the man standing?
yeah, yeah. I think there was no man. Jim never embellished this part. He never changed the details. He never tried to dramatize it. He just said that these men came, they questioned him, they walked away, and I just never saw them again. And I keep saying this, but the thing about Jim, he wasn't a sensational storyteller. He wasn't looking for attention. He never claimed aliens or conspiracies. He never made any claims at all. He was
No,
just
all I see is Tom.
just shooting
Sorry.
out the facts of everything. I mean, that's literally what he's just shooting out the facts. These guys came, they talked to me, they were really weird, and then they just walked away. I guess they didn't need a ride home. I don't know. Just describing what he sees. And sometimes that makes a story even harder to ignore. Now, here's where the story takes a turn far beyond England. Jim said that after his photo circulated internationally, he was contacted by a technician working at the Woomera test range in South Australia. It's a remote rocket testing site used during the Cold War for British missile development. According to this man, something strange happened there on the very same day that Jim took that picture.
Hmm.
A test of the Blue Streak missile was about to begin. Countdown running. Camera surveying the launch pad. And suddenly, the automatic cameras detected two figures, tall, human shaped, standing on the range where no personnel were authorized to be because, I mean, this is about to launch. The technician tells Jim that when he saw the Spaceman photo in an Australian newspaper, he recognized it instantly, claiming that the figure looked identical to what their cameras had captured at Woomera. Same height, same white appearance, same strange shape, same helmet.
Wow.
Nothing official was ever released, no images, no reports.
Yeah.
Missile test sites didn't hand out detailed logs back then. And so this was part of the story that lives in this strange space between possibility and folklore. But Jim does stand behind it. I did get this call. This is what this guy said. It's a detail that shifts the Solway Firth spaceman from unusual photograph to something much stranger. Something seen not just in England, but possibly in the desert of Australia, near a missile launcher on the same exact day. The theory about the men in black, intelligent officers investigating, were they investigating because of the Woomera coincidence? Like, if the Woomera story was true, if figures were seen at the missile test the same day, then intelligence agencies might have tried to connect the dots of like what's happening. Why are these men or these creatures or these things or whatever these are here, there? Maybe all three of them were supposed to be at the test site, and the one, like, that's why it looks like his hands are kind of on his hips. Like, well, where are those other two guys? Like, I
I'm
don't
lost.
know.
Where am I?
And Jim always says that the men in black guys, they seemed more confused than threatening. They were just frustrated. They seemed
Mm.
more like frustrated than threatening. They weren't angry. They just seemed disappointed that he couldn't help them, and then they just walked away.
But nobody showed up at the missile site, though.
No, not that they said. No.
Okay.
Other odds and ends. There were more oddities. So one of Jim's other photos from the roll came back extremely overexposed. Something more because he took more than just those three pictures, obviously.
Mhm.
Uh, and one of them was was extremely overexposed. Something some analysts said resembled radiation exposure. And Berg Marsh is very close to a missile testing site. So they were saying like the nuclear power plant put off some radiation or something. That still doesn't explain to me why there's a spaceman standing behind her.
No.
The ground around Elizabeth was soft that day. Her small footprints are visible. The figure behind her, there's no visible footprints.
Mm.
Some people have suggested time slips, unknown observers, or extraterrestrial presence. Jim never made these claims himself. He stayed grounded even when his story took on a life of its own. So let's talk theories. Do you have any theories?
Oh, well, I think it's the Australia tie is really interesting. You
I
know,
thought so.
theories. I wish somebody in present day, now we have advanced technology, would take a look at that picture and see if they can decipher anything. Um,
I guess they have. I guess they have because they did like a 30-year reunion. Elizabeth went out and took a picture out there at the marsh with flowers and like a floral dress with her dad. So yeah, I mean, it's still looked at and still very mystifying to people.
it is. So, what are the theories?
Uh, the theories are Annie in a dress is a skeptical favorite. Yeah, but I just don't think any details
No,
fit that theory. I don't
Mm-mm.
don't I don't at all. They
I'm not supporting that theory.
Okay. A camera illusion, like a reflection, overexposure, a forced perspective. Mm. A trespasser, a person in protective clothing wandering the marsh, but nobody saw anybody. There's no footprints. No other photos show some random man or woman walking back there. That one doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
A military presence because of the missile testing site that was nearby where they were and the nuclear power plant that was nearby.
Again, why aren't they caught in any other pictures?
And white protective suits, they weren't unheard of. The figure could be connected to a military testing if that's what it was, but Jim and Annie did not see anybody out there. The other theory, of course, is extraterrestrial or interdimensional. I don't know because like what you said, but the figure seems to hover rather than stand, casts no clear shadow, is too bright for the scene, appears in only one of the three rapid photos, was not seen by another person present there, appears behind Elizabeth, but she doesn't react to somebody standing behind her. Looks eerily similar to what the Woomera cameras
Mhm.
reportedly captured. A time slip? Was this a future astronaut? That's a theory.
That goes way beyond my scope of thinking. Time travel, I just don't grasp that.
I love that. I should have covered that on an episode. Um, well, we know the photo's real. We know the figure was physically present in the scene and had to be captured. We know Jim never changed his story and he never tried to profit from it, ever. Just stuck to his story of no one being there the day the photo was taken. Jim wasn't the type to lie or embellish. He was a fireman, a family man, quiet, grounded, practical. His whole life, he insisted, we saw no one. Until his death, he repeated that yes, these men in black visited him. I don't know who they are. You can claim whoever you want to, but these men dressed in black, this is what they looked like. This is what happened. Here are the
Have those
details.
pictures from Australia ever been released?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Nope. We know that that story was told directly to Jim by a technician. We know no official explanation was ever fully satisfied. It's never fully satisfied all the details. And that is why the Solway Firth Spaceman is still one of the most compelling, unexplained photographs ever taken. Jim passed away in 2011. Elizabeth, now an adult, still says she remembers nothing strange that day. Just remembers going out, taking pictures, and then all of a sudden, everybody's freaking out. No one has ever found a definitive explanation.
Oh my gosh. I want an answer.
I know. Isn't
That's
that
crazy.
interesting?
That's totally crazy. It's like he plopped down from nowhere in a second
Yeah,
and then disappeared again in a second.
I think it's time travel. I do. It just doesn't make sense. It's so weird. And the Men in Black thing was, oh my gosh, I started reading all these stories and I was like, man, should I just cover Men in Black instead? I was like, oh God, that episode would be like 8 hours long. But it's like a thing. I did not think it was a thing. I thought it was just Will
Wow.
Smith. I thought it was just Will Smith. I didn't think the Men in Black was a real thing. But it is a real thing in the UFO community. Did you know
And
that?
well, I'm not in that community, so I would not have
I'm
any
not
idea.
I'm not either, but I didn't know that.
Oh my God. No, never heard of him. Well, wouldn't it be cool to meet him though? I mean, wouldn't it be cool for a man in black to walk up to you and you're going, you're really weird, but
I don't think it'd be cool. It'd be weird. If
oh, I
somebody
think it'd
came
be
up to me and said, "Hello, I'm number 23. Take me to the field." I, I don't think I'd be like,
well
"Get in my
nowadays
car, let's go."
nowadays we wouldn't go.
Maybe
He
that's why
was a
they
very
stopped.
trusting sort. Yeah, me
Yes.
get in the car with two guys that are weird and take them to the
But I
field.
mean, but at the same
Okay, let's
time,
go.
they're dressed so officially that you're like, "Oh, these are obviously like
Government
some big
agents.
government. Yeah, I should probably take them to the marsh."
I should take them to their
Or
leader.
maybe they used one of those like things that maybe they really didn't just walk away and vanish. Maybe they discovered something when they were out there and then they had to, didn't he like flash a pen at him in the movies and then they forgot everything that happened. The neuralizers,
They could do that.
they could. They
They could
could.
just look at you. You've
It's the Man in Black.
forgotten everything. Except that you met us because we're kind of cool.
And that's what I got for you, Mama.
Wow, what a strange episode we had.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yes, yes, it was.
Told you I went a different route than telling you all the creepiness of Slenderman. I was like, I'm gonna do something lighter. I'm gonna cover this picture.
Oh, no, I'm happy you did. It was interesting.
Good. Thank you.
I'm just so like,
I know you were very quiet during my storytelling. I think your mind was just like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm trying to make it compute,
I'm
but
trying
it's
to
not.
make sense through the whole thing. I'm
I'm
just like,
trying to find the actual answer, but I can't figure this one out. That's why I think you were so quiet.
my old mind was doing exactly that. This makes no sense. Does not compute whatsoever.
And my ever so young mind is thinking the same thing.
Oh
Well,
my
if you have
gosh.
any theories, listeners, I would love to know what you think.
Oh, me too. Bring it on. I'd
Yeah.
love to hear it.
If you're on our YouTube, I obviously have posted the picture It's for, just you have to see this picture. I don't have any rights to this picture, but I'm using it to show you the picture for storytelling purposes. I can't make sense of it.
Strange.
All right, Mama. Well,
I did leave a sip.
I had to get another cocktail.
Yeah, I noticed that.
My blue cocktail was gone, and now I'm drinking some.
What is that?
It's sparkling with actual sparkles in there left over from my previous cocktail.
Sparkling wine?
Mm-hmm.
Numb. I haven't had any of that in a long time, believe it or not.
We just had a family get together and we opened a few bottles, and one of them wasn't quite emptied. So,
There you go. It'll go flat otherwise.
yeah. So, Mother,
Daughter.
it was a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mama.
I love you, kid.
This has been Killer Hangover Podcast, an original production written, produced, and designed by yours truly. All of our amazing music that always sends shivers down my spine was thoughtfully crafted by Dangerous Schmidt. And the other thing that gives me those chicken bumps, as we say, is you guys. Big love and huge thanks to all of our listeners. You truly make these hangovers possible. If you liked the episode, do us a favor. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you want to get in touch, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Killer Hangover Podcast, or shoot us an email at killerhangoverpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, stay safe, lock your doors, drink some water for that hangover, and call your mom.